Almost ready. Hang on, hang on. It's a hot summer day. Gotta quench my thirst. That's why we're here. You know what? I'm going to change my little name. Paul's Rock'em Sock'em Gospel. Here we go. Paul's Rock'em Sock'em Gospel. What we are going to do right now is we're going to look at Acts chapter 17. It is the most exciting chapter, maybe. I mean, the chapter where Christ rose from the dead and made his appearance to the disciples. That was pretty exciting. That's what the whole thing is built upon. Acts chapter 1, verse 3, that he presented himself alive to the 12 and to the disciples. He presented himself alive. But we've come a long way. By the time we get to chapter 17, there's a lot of complexity going on. There's some dynamics and colors that are surprising in this whole matter. And we're going to look at chapter 17, and I hope to God that we don't finish it too soon, because there's a lot of wonderful stuff in this chapter that should blow your mind if you're a regular evangelical Christian, a Catholic, somewhat familiar with Christianity, because this stuff in chapter 17 goes far beyond anything we were taught as regular Christians. So let me pull it up on the screen. See if I can do it in my clumsy way. Oh, heck. So looks like I've got to give it a name before I can actually find it. Now I should be able to find it. Okay, just hold on. Here we go. Dang it, it's not. The name didn't take. So let me try it again. Share screen. Share screen. Click the screen icon on your address to allow screen access. Screen icon, what is that? Huh? Then reload the page. Okay, so let's see if I can, and then share the screen. Boy, click the screen icon. Your browser has blocked the screen. Click the screen icon on your address bar to allow access. On your address bar, click the screen icon. Oh, I see. There's a screen icon. Use. Got it. Now, close that up and try it again. You'll have to find it in your heart to forgive me for being clumsy with this sucker. Got it. There we go. Acts chapter 17. Acts chapter 17. I'm telling you, this chapter is absolutely amazing. Thank God that Luke captured what was going on here. Let's dive in. Now, traversing Amphipolis and Apollonia, they, that is Paul and Silas and Timothy, they came to Thessalonica. Forget that. telephone call. We'll deal with it later. They came to Thessalonica, and they were where there was a synagogue of the Jews. There was a synagogue there. What's Paul going to do with the synagogue? Verse 2. Now, as was his custom, he entered to them, and on 3 Sabbaths he argues with them from the Scriptures. Wow. We'll follow that lead. We'll argue from the Scriptures. What better thing do we have to do than examine the Scriptures to see what God reveals and to see if we can rise to believing it. We want to believe, especially if it's good news. He enters to these synagogues, and on 3 days he argues, on 3 Sabbaths, he argues with them from the Scriptures. Verse 3, opening up and placing before them that the Christ must suffer and rise from among the dead. So this is what he's arguing from the Scriptures, that the Christ must suffer and rise from the dead. This is something different. This is not an argument that you must clean up your act. This is something wildly different. See, I'm sure that the Jews in the synagogues gave everybody a list of do's and don'ts. They were full of it. But here, he argues with them from the Scriptures that this Christ must suffer and rise from among the dead, and that this one is the Christ, the Jesus of whom I am announcing to you. Get it? This is Paul's message to the Jews, that Christ, from the Scriptures, from the prophecies, from the prophets, this one must suffer and rise from the dead. Okay, have you got that? Verse 4. Now, of course, some of them are persuaded and were allotted to Paul and Silas. What a strange phrase, huh? They were allotted to Paul and Silas. Both a vast multitude of the reverent Greeks and of the foremost women, not a few. So, we're down to verse 5. Now the Jews, of course, being jealous, what do you expect? Being jealous, they take unto themselves some wicked men of the loafers. They were bums. They put these bums out front and make a mob of them and make a tumult in the city. And standing by the house of Jason, they sought to lead the house of Jason before the populace. No, they sought to lead, I guess, Paul and Silas before the populace. Verse 6, and not finding Paul and Silas, they dragged Jason, and some of the brethren to the city magistrates. And I'm sure that Jason and his pals are saying, oh God, how did we get involved in this? And it all results from the jealousy of the Jews. Now, whether we understand what is going on in a dynamic way in God's Aeonian purpose or not, this thing looks very stupid. That the Jews would allow their jealousy to get the best of them so that they take some wicked men from among the loafers of the city, the bums, the rabble, and they make a mob out of these wicked men, these loafers, and they make a tumult in the city, a tumult. And then they go over to Jason's house and they cause a ruckus and they drag Jason and some of the brethren out of his house in front of the city magistrates. It's going to get worse. Listen to this in verse 6. They implore the city magistrates that those who raise the inhabited earth to insurrection, these are present in our city also, in this place also. What kind of accusation is this? Paul and Silas have been preaching about the resurrection of Christ and how it matches with the Old Testament prophecies. And it changes everything. The fact that someone, Christ, was raised from the dead. And these yahoos, these knuckleheaded Jews, are before the city magistrates and accusing them and saying these guys raised the inhabited earth to insurrection. This is an exaggeration. They have not raised the entire inhabited earth to insurrection. They've only been preaching the gospel, and a few people follow them, maybe, a couple thousand, but it's definitely not the entire inhabited earth, and it's definitely not an insurrection. They're just pulling away from what we might know.
Want to come check out Free Pile?
Okay. Give me a minute. They're just pulling away from everything that they may have been used to. And so here they are in Athens doing this, okay? I got to get out of here, but we're going to continue on this a little later. This is exciting stuff. Lots of accusation, lots of jealousy. And we'll talk later. Amen and grace to you.